And you're doing that because you know exactly the impact of these cuts that they're having on your ability to do your job well and professionally. Many members in the NUJ and in BECTU are absolutely struggling to get the work that they are expected to do done because there simply isn't enough people there to do the jobs properly and to do them so that quality output and journalism is guaranteed. And that's why we come into this business. It's to do a proper job, and it's why the BBC is so special as a public service broadcaster in this country. And unfortunately, it often feels like the people who are passionate about the BBC and truly defend the values that it stands for are only the people who are working here, not the people who are running the corporation. And I think by your strong collective stance, you're sending a very strong message to Tony Hall, and we hope he'll sit down and properly engage with the unions when he takes up his position in a few weeks' time. It's really regrettable that you're all here having to take 12-hour strike today, because this problem could so easily have been addressed if only the BBC would have decided to properly engage with the unions, sit down, have a pause in these cuts that are damaging the heart of the BBC, and give us an opportunity to review the situation and to put in place measures to ensure that people aren't paying with their health for the problems that the BBC management have caused. The BBC refused that request. They said it cost £2.5 million to have a 6-month moratorium. This is from the BBC that has wasted millions in recent weeks and months. They're quite happy to spend £500,000 here, £500,000 here to pay off people who either didn't get the job they wanted, in the case of Caroline Thompson, or who couldn't get the job done when he was in place, in the case of George Entwistle. It's modest amount of money that the bean counters at the BBC could pay to resolve the problems that you all face. Now, I'd just like to end by saying one of the important strands of this dispute that isn't just about jobs, that isn't just about workload, is the endemic and entrenched culture of bullying and harassment that is sadly far too common in many parts of the BBC. Both of the unions have engaged in the current review that's taken place under the Dinah Rose inquiry. And this is the submission that the NUJ made. Over 120 pages, on every single page, a victim, a casualty of bullying at the BBC. It's absolutely outrageous that it's been allowed to go unchecked for so many years. And it's fitting in some ways that we're on strike today over this issue, just a day after the release of the report into the tragic suicide of Russell Jocelyn in Coventry. And it's to his family and to the many other people who feel under pressure, who are being bullied within the BBC to this very day, that it's important that we all stick together and say enough is enough. We're not prepared to allow this to go on any further, and we want a fresh start from Tony Hall and genuine commitment to change, not just more Weasley words on paper and a new policy that's given to everybody, but people don't listen to its spirit. And I'd just like to end by saying you've obviously got the full support of BECTU and the NUJ, the entire unions behind you in this battle, but you've also got support from throughout the entire trade union movement. The messages of support and solidarity have been flooding in today, not just from within the UK, but also from around the world. And we also have messages of support from just individual BBC licence fee payers. And that's the other reason that you're all standing firm collectively today and doing this. It's because we all care about the BBC. It's not just any other business in the kind of management speak of everyone else. It's about public service broadcasting and the very, very principles behind that. And that's why Jerry's absolutely right to say this is about the future of the BBC, as we know it should be. And so thank you, all of you, for your strong action today, and we'll absolutely keep in touch over the coming weeks. We know that the work to rule will really have an impact on them doing it together as the two unions. So well done, all of you. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you all very much. Keep up the work to rule. Cheers.
I've got the anarchist megaphone.